Okay, everybody, today we're going to have some fun being detectives. Remember, detectives investigate things, they search for things, and today we're going to be detectives of words. We're going to be word detectives. So we're going to look at a bunch of words and being detectives, searching for things. We're going to look for things that these words have in common, all right? Things that are similar in a group of words, all right? So I'm going to need you to get your magnifying glass out soon, put on your detective hat, but not quite yet. First off, we're going to do something else. We're going to talk about some words that you've seen before, that you know what they mean probably, and maybe a word that might be new to you, all right? So let's start with that. Let's think about some words. Here are the three words right here. The first one is noun, the second one is verb, and the third one is suffix. Now you've probably seen a couple of these before. One of them or two of them might be new to you, but what I want you to do is I want you to talk with your partner about the definition, what you think the word noun means. Try to explain that to your partner. And then explain to your partner what a verb is. What does the word verb mean? All right. And then lastly, suffix. Try to explain the word suffix to your partner. After you've done that, I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to do this. I want you to think about some examples of a noun, maybe one or two examples of a verb, and one or two examples of a suffix, if you can do that, okay? So talk with your partner. I'll give you guys 2 minutes exactly. Okay, so let's talk about these words, right? Noun, verb, and suffix. Who thinks they can give us just an example of a noun? That's right. For example, dog. Dog is a noun, absolutely. That's really good. Table is a noun also. Mr. Demersky. Mr. Demersky is a noun, right? So what is basically a definition of a noun? For example, Mr. Demersky is a person. A table is a thing. A dog is an animal. Nouns are people, places, things, or ideas, right? What about a verb? What's a verb? Who has an example of a verb? That's right, running, listening, learning. Those are all really good examples of verbs. So what are verbs? Anyone tell me? That's right. Verbs are action words. They describe actions. Exactly. What about suffix? Did any groups come up with a definition or examples of suffixes? No? That's okay. We'll talk about that more in the future. All right. Now it's time to become detectives. Get your magnifying glass out. Put your detective hat on because we're going to look at a group of words. And I want you to look at these words and try to determine what, if anything, they have in common. You might see more than one thing that these words have in common. So I want you to become word detectives and look at this list of words. I'm going to give you a minute with your partner to look at this list of words and try to find anything that's similar. What do you see about these words that is the same? Are there any similarities, any patterns that you can find? I'll give you guys 2 minutes exactly to do this. So you and your partner need to study and investigate, be detectives, look at these words, and try to find out what they have in common. Discuss it with your partner just really quietly, okay? So everyone has a chance to think about this. I'll give you another minute and a half. Okay, now that you've had time to think about these words and what they have in common, who thinks they saw something? Who thinks they saw something in common about these words? Something about the final part of the word? That's right. Okay, what did you guys see? All right. Some of the words end with the same letters, don't they? That's right. So which words end in this with the same letters? That's right. Worker ends with the same letters. We're going to go ahead and put a rectangle around the word worker. Builder ends with the same two letters. We're going to put a rectangle around builder. Fighter ends with the two same letters. We're going to put a rectangle around fighter. Anything else that you saw that was the same? The last few letters of the word enjoyment. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do like a big circle around that one. Enjoyment. The last four letters are the same. M-E-N-T, right. Anything else? Requirement has the same four letters? You're right, it absolutely does. So we're going to group that one with the circle also. Requirement ends with M-E-N-T as well. Anything else? That's right, embarrassment. Embarrassment ends with the same four letters as requirement. and enjoyment. Awesome job, guys. You guys found two different things in common with all of these words. Okay, so now that you guys have been amazing detectives, what I want you to do is take these two different categories of words, your ER and your MENT words, and in your grammar notebook, in your spelling notebook there, I want you to write two categories. So it's going to look like this. You're going to have your ER categories, your three examples of that, and your MENT category with your three examples of that. Also, be sure that you underline the part that you found that was in common when you were a word detective. The ER for the one category and the MENT. I'll give you guys a couple seconds to do that, okay? Okay, great job. Okay. So let's go back to our original words here, and we're going to underline the ER, the MENT, the ER, the MENT, the MENT, and the ER of the words that you guys looked at. All right? So if you take away the ER part, if you take away the MENT part, let's say that we could just cover it up just like that. All right? If we cover up the MENT, if we cover up the ER in that word, if we cover up all those endings, if we cover up all the things that you underlined in your notebook, what do we have left? Anyone have any ideas? If I take away the ER in the word worker, what's left? Work. That's right, work. If I take away MENT from the word enjoyment, what's left? Enjoy, that's right. What about builder? Take away the ER, what do you get? Build, absolutely. What about requirement? What if we take away the MENT, what do you get? Require, that's right. Embarrassment, embarrass. Fighter, fight. Okay. So if we think about that, we take away the ER and the MENT ending of these words, what's left? Work, enjoy, build, require. What are these words? What kind of words are these? Think back to the very beginning of this lesson today and what you guys defined for me and gave me examples of. That's right. These words are verbs, aren't they? These words are verbs. The original part of this word, the base part of this word, is a verb. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So here's what I want you to do now. On your list that you've created of your words, I want you and your partner to come up with two examples of other verbs. So write the verbs right here and add an ER to those verbs. And on this side, think of some other verbs and add an MENT. And let's see if we can create new words using these new endings, okay? I'll give you guys a couple minutes to do that. Okay, let's go back to the very beginning of today's lesson when we started with the three words. Everyone had a definition of noun. Everyone had a definition of verb. Everyone had examples and definitions of those two, but what are suffixes? Does anyone have an idea what a suffix is? That's exactly right. If you look at your list that you have in your notebook, if you look at the original part of the word and the ending that you underlined, in the MENT category, the ER in this category and the MENT in this category are suffixes. These are letters that go on the end of words that change the original word a little bit. Okay? So suffixes change original words. In this case, we've taken verbs, and what have we done to them? We've added an ER onto them, or we've taken these verbs and added an MENT to them. So what actually did we do? Any guesses? Let's go back to our original board. What have we done to these words? If we started with the verb work and put an ER on it and made it worker, what have we done? Any ideas? Anyone have an idea what a worker does? A worker works. That's right. Let's look at the next one. Builder. Take away the ER. What do builders do? They build. Absolutely right. Fighter. Take away the ER. What's a fighter do? Fighter fights. Exactly. So our ER Suffix. What does it do? It describes what something or someone does, right? A fighter fights, a builder builds, a worker works. Exactly. Okay, what about ment? Let's look at those words. Enjoyment. Take away the amt and you have enjoy, right? Requirement, embarrassment. If you take away the ment, you have the verb. What does the suffix ment do exactly? Any ideas? If I require something, right? If I require something, it becomes a requirement. If I'm embarrassed about something, it becomes an embarrassment, right? If I enjoy something, it becomes an enjoyment. ment, the suffix ment, shows the result of doing something. The result of requiring something is a requirement. The result of enjoying something becomes an enjoyment. The result of being embarrassed becomes an embarrassment. So now what I want to do is I'm going to show you some examples of these words being used. Now, I'm going to read them out loud. You go ahead and read them along with me in your head, okay? She works downtown. She's a dedicated worker. My father builds houses. My father is a successful builder. Sometimes my friend fights during recess. My friend would like to be a professional fighter. Okay? Let's look at some examples of the ment category words. I enjoy skating with my friends. I get great enjoyment from skating. Our teacher requires us to be prepared for class. One of our teacher's requirements is to be prepared for class. I was embarrassed when I didn't complete my homework. It is an embarrassment to not complete your homework. Okay? So those are some examples of these words in action. Okay? So here's what we're going to do. Now that we've talked more about the ER suffix and the ment suffix, and you've created your little list here in your notebook, I want you and your partner to go back, and I'm going to give you, let's say 5 minutes, to try to think of your own examples again, okay? We've already done this a little bit before, let's do it again. Once you're done, I want you to walk around the classroom, and I want you to share out with at least two different groups, so you have to visit at least 2 other groups. Walk around and share your original examples of ER words and ment words. I want you to look and see if you guys have any of the same kind of words. Do you have words that are exactly the same? Or do you have some words that are different? All right, just compare them. You've got your 2 examples that you're going to take with your group, compare them with the rest of the class, all right? What I want you to do while you're doing this is if you come across a word that you really, really like and you're like, oh, I wish I had thought of that, I wish we had this one on our paper, go ahead and write it on into your notebook so it becomes one of your examples, all right? Go ahead and do this. I'll give you guys a few minutes to walk around and share your ideas with each other, and then we're going to come back all together for a final part of the lesson, okay? Okay, so now we've all had a chance to walk around the classroom. I'm going to give you guys, not very long, 10, 20 seconds to pick your favorite ER example word and your favorite ment example word, all right? It can be one of them that we already talked about in class together, or it can be one of the new ones that you guys came up with together, all right? It doesn't matter where it came from, as long as it's a word that you like, and it's actually a word. So let's find out what we're gonna get. Everyone's gonna have a chance to speak and talk about their favorite ER suffix word and their favorite ment suffix word. So let's do that now. Okay, so tonight's practice, homework, all right? You've each received a copy of an article, right, from a newspaper. This is an actual real newspaper, okay? So here's what you're gonna do. A couple different things. First off, I want you to read the article and go through and identify, like we did before with our original words, identify any ER ending words and any ment ending words. See if there's any new ones that you find in this article that maybe we didn't talk about in class or you didn't find out when you shared with your groups. All right? So that's the first part of the homework, all right? Part number 1. Part number 2 is I want you to read the article again. It's not a very long article, it's only one paragraph. And I want you to look for other words that have similar endings. Remember your detectives before, detective hat, magnifying glass? I want you to look for other words that have similar endings. See if you can find any other suffixes, because there are a lot of them, all right? So I want you to go ahead and try to see if you can find any other similarities. Go ahead and highlight or underline whatever you want to do. You can circle them, however you want to identify them, and bring those into class tomorrow. And let's see if we can find any other kinds of suffixes. All right? Great job today, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.